Previously on the Lance Chronicles.
Roberto Heras.
I think Roberto's due for a big tour.
Roberto Heras has been worth his weight in gold.
I think he started to want some freedom. He's definitely not going to be the leader of this team.
Johan is not the kind of guy to sit around and take a loss like that and just let it go.
We swap Roberto for Acevedo. You know, there are people that think he can do as good a job, if not better.
I've got a big few months ahead of me. I'm really trying to build a base here and build a good level of condition. Lactate. Like I've typically, my whole life had really low lactate levels. See some people, that little machine will tell them 11 or 12. I've rarely seen a 6, and 4 is typically considered threshold.
Everything you do is analyzed and evaluated. Is that really news?
Normally when I go out at night, I put on a little makeup.
Yeah, a little lipstick, a little gloss.
Lipstick.
Feeling like the end of a race, baby. You gotta kick it out.
For an American, he's doing okay. He's no good with cars, he's good with bikes, but not guides. We're giving him some coaching.
Lance is reaching a point that he can see the end of his career, and he realizes he's at a point that he can set history. It's uncharted territory at this point.
Hello! Hey! Super! Oh, hey, hello!
I mean, we have arguably 20 professional cyclists living in Verona now. It's a nice town. It's a nice little community. Just in our apartment building, we have 3 guys. We have Tyler, Freddie Rodriguez. George has been there for a long time. Levi lives there. Floyd lives there. A lot of young guys on the team. I mean, the list goes on and on. Well, we went there because, I mean, I guess years ago there just started to be a collection of guys from the, the original Postal team, and that was my main motivation to move there a few years ago. It's become a tradition, so it's not one that I want to break. Training is not what I had always thought it was going to be, but it's good. I mean, the roads are quiet, there's enough climbs that you can get by. I don't think it's a place you could stay year-round to win the Tour, but I'm happy. They're all old sidewalks and walkways through the old town, so people sit on the stairs and they hang out and they'll have some beers. And I mean, it's Europe, so you get, especially Spain, I mean, they stay up late. I found this building that was a complete state of destruction. The whole building, I mean, a lady had bought the building, sort of the shell of the building, which was a 500-year-old building, I think, and was going to make it into apartments, and each level was going to have 3 or 4 apartments. And this particular level, she had not sold any of the apartments, and I said, great, don't sell them. I'll just buy the whole level and make it one place. The best part, I think, of the whole place is this little chapel. I'm not the world's most religious person, but it's an amazing space. And this particular painting is something I found a year ago. It's 16th century Catalan painting. But the original frame, the frame is also 16th century, but back in that day they painted on wood. And just amazing when you look closely at it. And I had it clean when I bought it. It was really dirty, so it didn't shine and pop as much as it does there. Just because half the team is Belgian, I figured I'd buy a Flemish antique, so this is 18th century Flemish armoire. Command Central. This is actually a piece of art that I bought in Santa Barbara. It's called Santa Barbara Dream. Anthony Mas, he does these paintings that are almost look like photos. Here's a Francis Bacon that he actually signed. Another painter from Santa Barbara. That's called The Healing. These are 3 pieces of art that Actually bought in 1994 by a lady from San Antonio named Betty Ward. And if you see the names, Grace 1, Grace 2, and Grace 3, that I bought 6 or 7 years before I ever had a girl named Grace. And this is probably the coolest part of the house, I guess. You know, for having to live in an apartment and still be able to have some sort of nature or some sort of yard was the topper. This thing wasn't here, you know, and so this was all exposed, and I just had this dream that it would be great if this was dried in, you could keep furniture out here. The city wouldn't have, it was against code, so the mayor, who had been the mayor for 25 years, came over and was become a friend, and I said, Mr. Mayor, I need to enclose this and make it dried, I need to dry it in. And he sits there for a second, he's thinking, he says, okay, he says, here's what we'll do, we'll prove that, and we'll call it permanently temporary, that structure. And I said, that sounds good enough. But this thing is, nothing could get through that.
The Lance Chronicles on OLN is brought to you by Trek, the 5-time champion of the Tour de France. It's not just a bike, it's a trek.